Hi guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky with a couple of these Reid. And it is time for our monthly predictions for Book of the Month in Arvark. But before we get into those, we want to remind everybody that June 2025 is a very special month in both our lives because Chase Harlem is coming out in June 17th, 2025. If you haven't pre-ordered, please do. If you're in Tuscaloosa and want to come to the launch party on June 17th at Ernest and Hadley, we would love to have you. And let's just say for some reason you're like, I don't want the Book of the Month picks or the Aardvark. There's always a good standby.
Yeah.
So think about that.
So please think about that.
Yes.
Also, I know that Arvark has already spoiled one of their picks, so we are not going to mention that.
Okay.
Just because you can like go to their Instagram and you'll see it.
Oh.
So
well, you can spoil it for me because I haven't been on there. I don't know what's going on.
We'll spoil it later.
Okay.
So I didn't include that on this list just because it's already out there for the world to see. So we are starting with one of my top Book of the Month picks, in my opinion, is The Poppy Fields by Nikki, Erlick. And this one is speculative fiction. And I picked it because Book of the Month has kind of they've been trying to change up what they usually go with. And
some different stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And speculative fiction, I feel like, is on the rise. I know so many this excites me so much because I'm not a speculative fiction writer, but I know so many amazing speculative fiction writers that like they need their chance to shine. So I'm hoping this book absolutely pops and everyone loves it. And then speculative fiction rises.
Okay.
So The Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlick. The Poppy Fields is a remote stretch of the California desert where there is an experimental and controversial treatment center that allows those suffering from heartache of loss to sleep through their pain and keep sleeping. After patients awaken from this prolonged state of slumber, they should finally be healed, but only if they're willing to accept the potential shadowy side effects. So this story does follow 4 very different strangers and 1 dog trying to confront the person who has invented this poppy treatment for loss. Again, it's speculative fiction, so it's going to be wild, it's going to be uncanny. Book of the Month, please pick it. And if you don't, Aardvark, come on, you haven't spoiled everything. Let's get this one.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. So then we have the Ghostwriter by Julie Clark, and this says Ghostwriter. Her name is Olivia Dumont, and she has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she is the only child of a legendary horror author, Vincent Taylor. He's not only famous for his novels, but he was accused of brutally slaying his siblings. And so he is not writing his last book, and he talks her into being his ghostwriter. So all of that is out there, and it sounds very interesting. So in her doing this, the ghost of the past arise and haunt her in a way. So it seems interesting.
And they've carried Julie Clark before.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, if she's not, I feel like she'll be a pick because it's been a while since they've carried her.
Right.
And this book sounds super, super intriguing.
Yeah, it does.
But if not, I feel like there's a pretty good chance she'll be an add-on.
Yeah.
And next up, The Listeners by Maggie. I'm going to do my best with this name. Stiefvater. I should have called my German friend. Maggie Stiefvater. The Listeners. So this is historical, and I kind of picked this for you a little bit because it's World War II. January 1942, the Avalon Hotel and Spa has always offered elegant luxury in the wilds of West Virginia. June Porter Hudson is a local girl who's been running this spa location, and she has helped it through the first pangs of World War II. When the family who owns it surprises her by making a deal with the State Department to fill the hotel with captured Axis diplomats. So now
we're talking Axis powers here.
Axis powers.
The bad guys.
So June has to persuade her staff, many of whom have family serving on the front lines of World War II, to offer luxury to Nazis with a smile. Meanwhile, FBI agent Tucker Minnick is pressing his ear to the walls, listening in, trying to figure out the secrets of the Axis powers.
So that sounds like another interesting one. Okay, Liv Constantine, which is actually two authors writing together as one. In this particular book, Don't Open Your Eyes, Annabelle has everything she's ever wanted. This devoted husband, two wonderful daughters, a career she loves. She couldn't be happier. Then all of a sudden she starts having these terrible nightmares. And it's like she turns out in these nightmares she hates her husband. And she's just terrified for her daughter's lives in these dreams she keeps having every night. And then she tries to pass them off as dreams, but then things that she's dreamed about begin to happen. So it's like a premonition. And so all kinds of things happen, and then something comes up about, she has a dream about her daughter dying, and that really sends her over the edge and what is going to happen here. So is it just nightmares? Is it coincidences? Is it truly a premonition? If it's a true premonition and something terrible might happen, is she able to change what she's dreaming about?
That is Don't Open Your Eyes by Liv Constantine, author of The Last Mrs. Parrish. I had to think of it.
Yes.
And this one I picked for you.
Yes, Kristen Harmel, which is, she's one of four authors who do Friends and Fiction. Mary Kay, Mary Kay Andrews, Patty Callahan Henry. You have these wonderful, wonderful ladies. And in this book, Colette Marceau is a jewel thief, and she's been stealing for decades, and she has a code of honor that her mother before her was a jewel thief. You only steal from the mean, bad people, and then you turn around and you give the proceeds. So very much a Robin Hood type thing. And then we're back into the Second World War, and we're in Paris, and Annabelle and Colette, they work together.
And Annabelle's the mother.
Annabelle's the mother, and yes. Colette's the daughter. And so they steal, turn it over, and fund the French resistance. Okay? So then Colette's 4-year-old sister, Liliane, something happens one night. Annabelle gets arrested, and in the process, her 4-year-old sister comes up missing, as well as the expensive diamond bracelet that's been sewn into her nightgown. Well, unfortunately, Annabelle is executed. The 4-year-old's body is found in the river, and the bracelet is nowhere to be found. Colette goes on for 70 years, and then all of a sudden, the bracelet turns up in a museum. And so she becomes obsessed with, if I can find out where this bracelet has been, who has owned it, I can get the answers to what happened to my sister. So it sounds, Kristen Harmel is a great author.
I'm so hoping for a happy ending, because it reminds me a little bit of The Secret Book of Flora Lee.
Yes.
Where there is a very happy ending, even though everything seems bleak. That book made me cry.
Yes.
So hard.
Yeah, about Patty Callahan Henry. Any of those authors are just super, super, yeah. Okay, and then you have this one.
Notes on Infinity by Austin Taylor, and this is, I believe, more science fiction.
Yeah.
Zoe and Jack, which is really hard to say because I want to say Zoe and Zach. But Zoe and Jack are Harvard geniuses that develop an anti-aging drug that will grant its users immortality. They find encouraging results from testing this drug again and again, so they bring their work to an investor, drop out of Harvard, and form a startup company. But after the money, the magazine covers, and the national news stories detailing their success, Zoe and Jack receive a startling accusation that threatens to destroy both the company they built and their partnership.
So it also sounds very interesting.
Yes, and I've seen this book a lot of different places. I think if Book of the Month pulls a science fiction one, it's going to be this one.
Gotcha.
Whew, this one's exciting too.
Okay, yeah. Sister Butcher Sister. This one was interesting. There's 3 sisters, and the Rowling sisters each have their own secrets. Kate, she has all these unexplained visions that are tied to a past that she is having trouble remembering. And Aurora is a mother married with 2 children. She's finally acting out. She must have been the good child, because she's finally acting out in the face of her sister's indiscretions. And then the youngest, Peggy, she's a recovering addict, and she's trying to move away from the memories that haunt her. And then there's she, S-H-E, she. She is a serial killer. Aha. We have 3 sisters. We have a serial killer. So does that mean that one of the 3 are the serial killer?
Yes.
I guess we'll have to read and find out.
I love that it seems like it's going to be all of their point of view and then the mysterious point of view of she. This is something I'll read, whether Book of the Month.
Yeah, because it's like it talks about 3 sisters, but it's almost like there's a 4th character there.
Yeah.
That we have to do. Okay, now I have to do the next one too, because Ashley Poston.
I picked this one for you.
Yes. Sounds Like Love. Okay, I will say Ashley Poston, Arvark carried her, and her book was called A Novel Love Story.
And we are predicting this for Aardvark.
Aardvark, yes.
So Aardvark viewers, this is our prediction that they haven't spoiled.
I loved that book. That is still, after I've read so many books this spring and this winter, it's still one of my favorite books of this year, because it's got some magical realism in there, and it's fantasy maybe a little bit, but it was an awesome book. And so I can't wait to read Ashley Poston's Sounds Like Love. And this is Joni Lark is one of the most coveted songwriters in LA, but she's not been able to write. And all of a sudden she's got this melody running around in her head, and there's some guy singing it in her head that she doesn't know. And there's no words, there's no title, there's none of this. And then somehow all of a sudden the man with the voice that she hears in her head appears. And they get together and they're going to write this song together. And he said, then we're going to separate, because undoubtedly maybe the same thing's happening to him. And so they get together, they're writing this song, and they're trying not to fall in love with each other. But of course, it's, Love Never Sleeps? I mean, come on, they're going to fall in love with each other. They've got to. Love's in the title. So Ashley Poston, love her writing. Can't wait, because it will be my pick. Sounds Like Love.
Yes. All right, so next up we have several books that are likely to be add-ons for Book of the Month. Mm-hmm. The first one, they have yet to drop Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know she's had some novellas they haven't done. Yeah. But they've pretty much gotten all of her books.
Well, and Taylor Jenkins Reid is just awesome.
I did, Daisy Jones and the Six is still one of my favorite books of all time. Mm-hmm. I loved it. The show was fine, but I loved the book.
Yeah. I have not read that book, and I need to read that book.
You need to watch the show too, because it's Elvis Presley's granddaughter.
I know. Yeah.
Playing Daisy Jones.
Yeah. So. I need to.
Interesting. It's cute.
Okay.
It's not, to me, it's too slow, but the book is amazing.
Yeah.
Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, from the #1 New York Times best-selling author of Daisy Jones and the Six, comes an epic new novel set against the backdrop of the 1980 space shuttle program about extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits. Joan Goodwin joins the astronaut program in 1980, finding family and friendship with her fellow astronauts, and they are just the quirkiest little group. Then in December of 1984, on mission STS-LR9, everything changes in an instant, and she has to fight for her new family.
Oh, wow.
And if I know Taylor Jenkins Reid, I know that it's gonna be something.
It is.
So I'm excited. We're going to see this through, and this author you've read.
Lisa Jewell. Well, you've read her too, haven't you?
Yes, but surprisingly not a book that Book of the Month picked up. I read her take on Jessica Jones, which was so good. I loved it.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
I'm still mad Book of the Month.
I know. Lisa Jewell. Don't let him in. I like Lisa Jewell. I've read several of her books. Nina is a recently widowed mother with an adult daughter, Ash, and Nina's new boyfriend is Nick Radcliffe. He seems to be perfect, but Ash does not trust this guy. And Martha, who is a florist, she lives with her devoted husband, Alistair, and their infant daughter. Nina, Martha, and Ash are on a collision course with a shocking truth that is far darker than anyone can have imagined. And all three are about to wish they had heeded the same warning. Don't let him in. But the past will not stay buried forever. Sounds true, Lisa Jewell, like very ominous.
Yes. I love that breakdown.
Okay, so this is your author.
This is my boo. With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. And from reading it, this is his take on Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
Without Poirot there to be a buffer between all the insane people. So in 1942, which three of the books in our list are set in 1942.
Well, people are really getting into historical fiction again.
Yeah.
And centered around World War I and World War II, and even some Korean and Vietnam War, but mainly the World Wars. They really are.
So, yes, in 1942, 6 people destroyed Anna Matheson's family 12 years later. So it is, the majority of the book is set 12 years after. She's ready for retribution. Under false pretenses, Anna has lured those responsible for her family's downfall onto a luxury train from Philadelphia to Chicago. An overnight journey of 14 hours. Her goal: to confront the people who've wronged her, get them to confess their crimes, and deliver them to the hands of the authorities waiting at the end of the line. Justice will be served. But her plan is quickly derailed as people start getting murdered.
Yeah. Best laid plans all right.
Someone murders one of the passengers. As the train barrels through the night, it becomes clear that someone else on board is enacting their own form of vengeance, and that they won't stop until everyone else is dead. I love the divine irony that Anna now has to try to keep these people who destroyed her family alive, so that the cops at the end of the line don't think she done it.
Yeah.
So
gotta keep somebody alive, so there's another suspect.
Yeah, yes.
Right. It's almost like Orient Express meets and then there were none.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Yes, because there's nobody good and then there were none.
But there you are.
So I'm so excited. It's interesting that the cover says the author of The Only One Left, which is one of my favorite of his. So anyway, King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, and because I can't pronounce all these southern names, Becky's gonna read this one.
Well, it says, when the eldest son, Roman Carruthers, is summoned home after his father's car accident, he finds his younger brother, Dante, in debt to some very dangerous criminals. What is it with these younger kids? I mean, and then his sister, Nevaeh, has exhausted from trying to hold the family together. There you are, the woman's in there trying to keep everybody from getting killed off and doing bad things, but she's not doing a good job with the younger brother. And the family business together, Nevaeh and their father, who runs Carruthers Crematorium, and the rundown central Virginia town of Jefferson Run, see death up close every day, but mortality draws even closer when it becomes clear that the crash that landed their father in a coma was no accident, and Dante's recklessness has placed them all in very real danger.
So this has been described as a Godfather-inspired Southern crime epic and family drama. S.A. Cosby, I hear nothing but praise for this author. Book of the Month has carried him before, so I really do think this would be an add-on.
Could be an add-on, yeah. And King of Ashes, of course, they own a crematorium, so there you are.
And with a comp like The Godfather, I feel like this is necessary Book of the Month. Let's just go ahead and get it.
Oh, now this one.
Okay, this one I'm going to read the whole synopsis because I did not know how to summarize it. I apologize. Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. As you know, the author of
The Invisible
Life of Addie LaRue, which I read. You didn't, and I blanked on it. Too much wine. I'm sorry. So here's the synopsis. This is a story about hunger. 1532, Santo Domingo de la Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and wily. Her beauty is only outmatched by her dreams of escape, but Maria knows she can only ever be a prize or a pawn in the games played by men. When an alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. She vows to have no regrets. This is a story about love. 1827, London. A young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life on her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender heart and seemingly impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow. But the price of freedom is higher than she could have imagined. This is a story about rage. 2019 Boston. College was supposed to be her chance to be someone new. That's why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, her present, and her future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. This is a beautiful synopsis.
Yeah, it really is. And I like the title of the book, but I'm interested because it starts out in 1532. Okay, then it goes to make it go
1827,
and then 2019. So you have a 300-year span and a 200-year span. How in the world are all of these things connected? How are they tied together?
I will say this: V. Schwab. I've read her magical realism. I would call Addie LaRue magical realism rather than full-on fantasy. I've also read her fantasy. To my knowledge, this is the first time she's really dipped her toe into historical fiction. But what she's really good at is telling multiple points of view and bringing a story together.
Well, I would be interested in seeing how she brings all this together.
Yeah, she's a very talented author. So I would read this. I would read this just to see how she did it.
Yeah, that would be very interesting, I think. So,
and Book of the Month has been good about carrying her fantasies in the past. Now that she's delving into a newer genre, I would like to see them carry that as well. So those are our predictions. That's it. That's what we have here. We hope that some of these will be picked, but also Book of the Month, they have stated they are trying new things. And just a reminder, if you haven't pre-ordered,
if you don't get one of them, and even if you do get one of them, you need several books.
Yes, we need a whole library. So make sure to check out Chase Harlem. It will be available June 17th, and we are super excited. And also weirdly excited about my competition for June because these books look good.
They do look good. They really do. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.